This is Dimensions in Faith, a weekly program featuring services from various churches throughout the Channel 4 viewing area. Services this week are by the Lake Providence Baptist Church with the Reverend Bruce Maxwell.
I am determined to walk with Jesus. Yes, I am. We bring you greetings from Lake Providence Missionary Baptist Church at 4507 Nolensville Road. We will have scripture and prayer by Reverend Anthony Pascal at this time.
And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God.
Jesus was concerned about people. So you and I today, as we live, must be concerned about people. Many have come to the conclusion that since the world has so vastly expanded, and since we have such a vast population upon the face of the earth, that Jesus is no longer concerned about the world and what is going on therein.
At this time, we would be blessed to have Miss Sadie Overton, a member of the Lake Providence Baptist Church, to bring us the past events, the history of the Lake Providence Baptist Church.
A brief history of Lake Providence Missionary Baptist Church. It was in the year of 1868 that the now historic Lake Providence Community and Church had its beginning. A few families recently freed from slavery had settled on farms, which had formerly been large plantations on the Nolensville Road, about 7 miles south of Nashville in Davidson County, Tennessee. Many of these people had learned about Christianity in the days of slavery, and some 20 or more persons were Christians of the Baptist faith. They not only had homes, but they were born and had prayer services under an old oak tree. When Reverend Larry A. Thomason came to the area in 1868, he found a thrifty and a productive group of people. He worked with them, and he began to hold religious services, and he encouraged the people to buy plots of land in order to build homes and produce and have farms and to raise families. This community was called Lake Providence, lake from a stream of water that ran by, and Providence because he felt that it was the divine providence of God that sent him to this community. Lake Providence Missionary Baptist Church was organized under an old oak tree, and it was under the farm of Mr. Sam Overton. Reverend Larry A. Thomason was elected the first pastor, and soon a small box church was erected near Nolensville Road. After serving 18 months as pastor, Reverend Thomason resigned, and he moved to the Indian Territory. During the period of 1870 through 1930, when Reverend Thomason left, approximately 23 different ministers had served as pastor of Lake Providence Missionary Baptist Church. After he resigned, the resigning of Reverend J.W. Evans, this church was left without a pastor, and under the direction of the deacons and 3 loyal members, Reverend Henry Osborne, Reverend George Nightingale, and Reverend Alfred Whitlow, the deacons, with their help, were able to hold the church congregation together. With the help of the Lord and the assistance of the deacons, in the year of 1931, the Lord sent to us Reverend Samuel Henry Simpson to lead this flock of believers on through with confidence in the church membership his self-determination, and working hard with this group of believers and endeavor people, the church began to move on. There was a change in the atmosphere of this church by tact of leadership, business integrity, pastoral ability, and strong instructive preaching by the late Reverend S.H. Simpson, who led and guided these members for 44 years. After the passing of the Reverend Samuel Henry Simpson, Reverend Bruce Maxwell served as our spiritual advisor, and on November the 14th, 1976, he was installed as our pastor. Our community and church is no longer the community and church of which some of us remember it. We see the faith and prayers of our parents and forefathers being answered. We see the faith that the dark past has taught us. We see the hope that the present has brought us. We can face the rising sun of our new day begun, and with trust and continuous prayer in God, we shall march on until the victory is won.
Amen.